Viewers, welcome to my second video. This is a video on creating a simple plugin to query a SQL database and print the contents to a screen. So I looked at a few plugins and I couldn't find anything that I liked or wanted. There were some either over-the-top fancy ones, the ones that you had to pay for, and none of them really did what I wanted to do. So um, I have a certain requirement, and the requirement is to print a field from a SQL database into a blog. So if you have a bunch of products, you could obviously go and edit the blog and put each product in on the blog and edit it one by one, right? For an example, if we look at this page, this is just a test page. So what I'd like to do is I want to list a bunch of products here. Now I could just go and add image manually to this page and create it, which is fine. I mean, that's a quick and easy, dirty way to do it, and most people probably actually do that. But I'd like to take this a step forward. I'd like to retain all my products in an SQL database, and that the reason why I'd want to do that is you could use it for other blogs, or you could use it for other areas on your blog to do different things. So instead of having to repeatedly enter the same information twice, the whole concept of databases is enter it once and then you can reuse it, right? So that's kind of what I want to do. So I want a plugin to be able to print a certain, if I tell the plugin to print the image for that product, then I just give it a shortcode, um, and perhaps a parameter, and then I'll print it. So I just put a bunch of shortcodes here instead of actual images, right? So that's kind of what I want to do. I'm not a web developer or programmer by I don't make my livelihood that way, so I'm just do this sort of on the side. But I don't want to have to manually enter things over and over and over, so I'm going to want to um, pull that from a database. So that's kind of what this video is about. If you're looking for something else, I'll do kind of two parts of the video. The first one is I'll just, if for those guys that are just interested in having a plugin to print something from the database, we'll probably start off with, we'll do a select statement and see what we can get from that. And then for those that are actually interested in a little bit more information about the actual what I'm trying to do here, then you can continue watching. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't written a plugin yet. I've sort of played around with plugins just basically to see if it can do what I wanted to do. As you can see here, this is actually coming from the plugin, this actual thing. So let me show you what the plugin does right now. So I have a plugin, and I do have a video on making a basic plugin and this simple product. So just watch the other video if you're kind of just interested in how to make a simple plugin in its most basic form. I didn't want to go into it in this video because I wanted to concentrate on the SQL stuff. So if you do want to see that, by all means, go take a look at that video. So let's take a look here. I have a plugin called Product Query. And I just grabbed this. I just grabbed this off the internet somewhere, just to kind of test it and see what I was looking for. Specifically the shortcode stuff, right? I was actually just playing around, so I can just kill this stuff here. So really, I have one function, which is this guy here, and we'll get into. I'll probably rename that, I did probably. I think I already renamed it. In this case, it's gonna just say list contents of SQL I'm going to go specifically mySQL record and print to your blog. Yeah. Okay, let's just change this quick here. Okay, author. Okay. Okay, we can do example. Okay, query SQL DB for record of product. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to change this here and let's call it something like, we can call it, stop it. Okay, see if it actually saved that or not. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. Okay, let's just call it something like product query. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me just let me see. I don't know if I can make this. Maybe I can make the text bigger. Yeah, just in case you guys can't see it bigger. Oh. Just in case. No, that's too big. So hopefully you guys can actually see that. So I was kind of playing around a little bit in here, but as you can see, you can actually call file get contents, and you can grab some content on the page. So I thought of doing that, but then I thought this would probably cause a lot of performance issues if you're doing a few products. So I've kind of forgot about that. It actually kind of worked. Okay, title, I was just playing around here quickly just to try and get a title, and I'll show you what I was doing there in a sec. Okay, let's do this, and let's call the shortcode product. Let's call it product query. Sure, why not? So just get rid of this. Okay, we'll call it product query, and then we're just going to change the shortcode here quick to. Okay, this is the same name as your function that we're going to be querying, and we'll grow this function obviously later on. Just to quickly show you, so we've got post URL. We'll just leave that for now. We'll come back and we're going to delete that in a sec. Yeah, but I just wanted to show you what this is currently doing. So in its current state. Oh. Let me just, I can't see the bottom of that. Okay. 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 So let me just run this up quick. Okay. So there we go. So let's jump back to the blog page here quick. Okay. So let's edit this guy here quickly. Okay. So we'll leave that table in there, but just to show you what we want to do here. So we've got product. Let's do product query. Do title equals to let's do new product. Yeah, let's actually let's do juicer. Why not? Okay. So that's all that really means is we're going to be passing a parameter or a few parameters, but let's start with one parameter, and then we'll pass that to the plugin. And the reason why we probably want to do this is if I'm looking for, let's say, just a picture, I want to just get a picture from the database, right? And then I want to print that. So I'm probably after one field at a time, and then later on I probably want to get into this video is then I'll query. Perhaps I'll say print the product with the price, for instance, right? So again, if you're doing sort of affiliate program with Amazon, you can't print the price unless you're querying the API, the Amazon API. Otherwise, it's against their terms and conditions, and they could get you banned. So you want to make sure that you never manually enter an Amazon price from their website onto your website, because that's a big no-no from Amazon's point of view, and you'll get yourself banned very quickly, right? So what you can do, though, however, is you could query Amazon the Amazon API, grab all the prices, and once you have the prices then in your database, then you can actually just print those prices. Now I do have another script that does that, and maybe I'll make a video on that, where you can actually run the script. What I generally do is run the script once a day and go and grab all the Amazon product prices and populates my database with those prices, and then you can print them on your website as long as you get in those prices via the API, right? Okay, so let's see what this guy does here quick. Let me just quickly do an update here. Actually, it's not going to work. I need to first. The problem with the plugins, especially as private plugin, you need to disable and enable the plugin when you update it, right? So you just make sure you remember that. Okay, enable. In fact, I'll probably going to just name that. I'm just going to name it quickly, just so it's at the top of my list. I don't have to deal with looking for it each time. Okay, so if we go back to pages here quick. Okay, let's just take a look here. Okay, so as you can see, we actually printed, if you remembered, I think if that was the case, is we actually printed the title. Actually, did that actually work? Let me just double check here quick if I've got the right thing here. Actually, hold on a sec. Product query, the title equals to juicer. No, actually, I was expecting to get juicer back, but let me just double check the plugin here quick. If that was supposed to do what it's supposed to do. It did actually print something underneath, alright. Okay, so it returned the tweet. Okay, so it returned the tweet. Okay. Just thinking if it did behave as it was supposed to behave. I think what I could have done, I suppose, is just print the dollar title. Okay. Okay, just kind of to show you that that piece does actually work. Okay. So before we do that, I'm just going to do something quick. I'm just going to call this a product query so it shows up at the top of my list. Okay. Okay, go to plugins here quick. See, as you can see, I put an A in front of it, and this might depend how many plugins you have with A, but that'll just make it easier to find for this demonstration. Okay, so as you can see, we posted a title juicer, printed that the actual title, which means it's taking parameters really nicely. So when we're looking for just an image, we can grab an image and then we can return that image, and that's exactly what we want to do here, right? I mean, it's kind of the idea here, right? Okay, so let's make this. I don't want to spend too much time on this stuff. Okay, so let's make this a useful thing. So I don't really care about this stuff anymore. So all these tweets and stuff. So we'll leave that there for a sec. That'll just post ID. Okay. So as you can see, in order to get those parameters, we've got this variable there, and then we query that variable. So that's really, I think, all you need in terms of trying to get variables back. But this is really more of a SQL demonstration, so let's try and get that on the road. Yeah. Okay, let's remove that. We'll keep that, and we'll keep that the same, right? Okay, so in terms of querying a MySQL database, it's pretty easy. I have a product database. Let me just. And again, I'm not disclaimer. Yeah, I'm not a web developer, DBA, or anything like that. So if I'm doing something that's outside of the norm or not to code, don't hold me to it, because I just do stuff that I know that kind of works, and I know how to get it to work right. So MySQL, and let's go to product. I'll just show you my product database here quick. Okay, show tables. Actually, what I want to do, describe product, yeah. Okay, so I have a product database with a bunch of fields here. The fields that I'm really interested in and we'll be talking about here is the image field. We'll grab an image from there. The URL. So for this demonstration, we'll probably just stick to image and then the actual URL that we want to try and attend. Let's see. I just threw in a juicer there. And just let's go double check the URL is actually good because I did query it earlier on. Okay, so let me just go to my. Okay, so I just grabbed a product off Amazon and I threw it into my database here quick. So let's just go take a quick look at that. So I'm just using PHP admin here, and I'll just grab my last one here if I can. Okay, which is this guy, yeah. So this is a juicer. Let's see what Amazon went and grabbed. Okay, so I have a URL, which is this guy, yeah, which is great. I also have an image over there, which is good. So let me actually go. I have another website that actually queries this database. Let me see if I can find it here quickly. I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's just a good way to look at your data, yeah. Okay, we'll leave that as is, I guess. Okay, so let me go here quick to. Okay, so this is another website I run. I'll just put your juicer. Okay, so this is this guy. This is a guy. I've got an image there. I've got a description, and I've got a URL. So if I click on this guy, it takes me to a URL, and that's all we really want here, right? So this is kind of the demonstration piece, right? Okay, so that's all good. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go grab some DB stuff here quick. So I'm just gonna grab. I've got some other programs that I wrote with all my different pieces. Yeah, I can't remember them all. Okay, let's do. Let's see. Actually, let's do one of the random. Sure, one of these guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab some stuff here quick. Okay, so I do have just to kind of note, I use something called a dbconfig file, which has my database connection information in it. It just really has database password, the name of the database, type of thing, right? I can show you a copy of that. Okay, should we copy that? Come back to this guy in a sec. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me actually show you that DB thing quick here while we. Okay, so all I have in this file is really just the user, the password that you're going to connect to. I've blanked it out here, so whatever your password is. The name of the database, which I don't actually use in the example, as you see, because that database might actually change, but it also gives me a good, if I do have a second database, and just a query there, right? Okay, so we don't really care about that. Product query, okay. Okay, so let's go query the database here quick. Okay. Going to include, I think it's once only. Is that what it is? I'll go find that. It's probably not that. Actually, okay, include once, not once only. Okay, include. Okay, let's include once. Okay. So that just really tells us included once. If it's been included somewhere else, then don't re-include it, right? And that's all it's kind of. Okay, we don't care about this stuff. We don't care about that stuff. We don't care about that stuff. Okay, so grab content from product images. So we can append. Yeah, that's okay. So this is just your database variable. It can be anything. Yeah. Let's just call it, I guess. Query is probably okay. Okay, it's just a variable. It just means nothing. Okay, so I'm saying grab my host. I know what my host is, my DB user, which is root, my DB password, and then what is my database. So you can still either use that variable or just put product. I just put product there. Just it's I know which database when I'm looking at the script I'm actually querying without having to think twice about it, right? Okay, so that's your query, but then you want to actually do a query, right? So in my mind, when you fill out that form, you're going to have a record of some sort. So you're going to have a record ID or something like that. So if we go back to that one quick here, where is that file that I was creating? Okay. So in this case, we're going to want to do some sort of query to the database that we're going to call, right? In case we're going to do probably let me look at another one here quick. Okay, so actually this is exactly kind of what I'm looking for, yeah. Okay, this kind of guy. Okay, and while I'm here, so let's just do YY. Okay, there's my results. Okay, I think I just need those guys here. Okay, I'm not gonna save that file. Okay, so we have the query that we're going to actually create a connection to the database. That's all that line does there. Actually, so once we do something like this, open connection, so it's clear to you guys. To DB. Okay. Then we're going to actually do. Our SQL query is going to be so select. We want to select start from product with IDs, and we're going to pass an ID to this, right? So we're going to actually tell it what is the actual ID that we want to do, right? So in this case, it could just be ID. In this case, and we'll grab that, and we want to first actually do something like this. So let's say we did actually give it an ID. Okay, so let's actually just do uppercase here. ID. Okay. Okay. So that's going to just say select everything from that record, and it's only going to pull one record as long as that record's there. And I'm not going to go into the error checking just yet. And then once we have that, we're gonna actually run it. Okay. Make sure my query is new. What's that? Results. Actually, let me just double check something real quick. I just want to make sure that my okay. That's probably, we'll see if it works. If not, we'll come back and we'll take a look at that. I was just curious whether this query has to be the same as the results. Yeah, like does this have to be result equals, right? But we'll see. If that doesn't work, we'll come back, right? Okay, so we'll query this. So query single record based on ID that is passed in the shortcode, right? Okay. Okay, we'll get back a result. And then why don't we take that result and we'll turn it back here. So let's kill this. We don't need that anymore. And why don't we return $results and see what it does for us. Okay. And we should get the whole record. So we'll probably get like a whole bunch of stuff. And then we can look at breaking that up a little bit. Okay, return. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, let's go back to our page. I don't know if I was on the wrong page or not. Test, that's a different one. It's okay, let's go back here. Actually, before we do that, we'll just activate. Okay, go back to pages. Okay, let's see what it does. And it hasn't done anything by the looks of it. Just update. Oh, actually, it probably hasn't done anything because we haven't given it an ID. Okay, so let's do ID, and I forgot what that ID was. Do we have it here? We do 167. So that's the ID that we're actually after. Okay, and you can use a different way to grab it if you know what's like a different. Instead of an ID, you can use a title or something if that's really what you want to do. Okay, let's go jump back to the blog here. Okay, let's give it ID 167. Okay, let's see if that makes a difference. Done anything? Let's see. Oh, let's change my. Okay, 167 update. Okay, I think it's double check. It doesn't seem to be behaving like it should. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It's kind of weird. Okay, ID. Unless it's doing something stupid, but let's just click on here and see if it's doing anything. Okay, it definitely doesn't like anything. Something. It's obviously the plugin. It doesn't like something with the plugin. So let's just go back here quick. Actually, just want to see something here quick. Okay, so just to go back. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've got my connection here. I open content. I do a query. I do an SQL content in this case, and then I got a results, and it's just executing SQL content, which is fine. So that's fine. That's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, now it might be that the query is not working. Okay. Actually, I might just not be returning anything. Maybe that's what it's doing. Although it should be the right results. Let's try this here quick. Result equals results. Query. I think I closed it down here, so I just want to see what that is. Okay, I close the connection and I do another connection. I don't think that should really make a difference. Okay, let's try something else here quick. Okay, so that might actually not be returning anything useful. Actually, before we do that, let's see if... Okay, let's see if we can actually do this. Maybe we can actually see what the error is. Yeah, it hasn't actually told me what it's doing, but okay. Just give me error on that shortcode because it's not really a proper PHP file. Okay, so let's try this quickly. Yeah. Okay, so let's do well. Okay, so results. Let's try these at there. Let's do post equals to result. That's fine. So we could maybe do something like let's do post bang. Let's do ID. Why not? And I'll just print the ID if it does actually return anything. Okay. Let's see again. Let's try it quick. Let's try this again quickly. Okay, it hasn't done anything different. Okay, I'm not expecting this to work, but let's see what happens. Okay. Pages. So it definitely took out the table as well, right? Which is kind of interesting, yeah. Okay, tell you what, let's actually remove this quick, yeah. I don't know why it's removing the table. Let's update that. We should at least see the table. Okay. Okay, so the table's still fine. We can edit that quick, yeah. That's an old shortcode which we don't really... Okay, we'll go back. That doesn't matter. Okay, so we got product query. ID equals to 6167. So in theory that should be okay. Okay, let's just double check here. Okay, so why don't I just take out all those guys? Let me just take out take all this guy out here. Okay, and so why don't we return ID equals ID stats, and why don't we return ID? Yeah. So let's return ID. Yeah, ID. Okay, and let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, I just want to double check that that's just the main issue. Yeah. Okay, plugins. Now we can leave that page. Okay, activated, no errors there. Let's go back here. Okay, let's just put the shortcode back. Product. Query equals ID equals to 167. Okay, so that should just print that back to us. Probably just an issue with the statement is my guess. Okay, so okay, we got an ID back. We got nothing back from the ID, which might explain why it wasn't working, right? But okay, so it did go that far. So we did a query. Yeah, that's fine. We didn't actually get anything back from ID, so we should have actually got the ID back. Like equals to says equals to ID. So why aren't we getting that guy back? So this should be printing the 167. That's what it should be doing. This all looks fine. Let's take out this query. Not that that should make a difference since it made it to. Okay, let's take that just in case it doesn't like that. For whatever reason. Okay, so plugins, go disable. Activate. Okay, ID equals 167. I'm wondering if I need to put that in single quotes or something silly. Okay, nothing there. Let's try to put that back into. I forget whether they wanted to have that in single quotes. That made a difference at all. Nothing there. Let me just check my. I think I'd put this somewhere else. Yeah. Product reviews. No, it wasn't there. I mean, that should work, right? So function product query, our shortcut is product query, add product query, ID equals 18. I mean, it's just as simple as it can get, right? You can't actually get it any more simple than that, right? don't expect that to work actually. Plugins, what am I missing here? I wonder if I saved that, yeah. I don't actually. Okay, let's try. It doesn't like the ID for some weird reason. I mean, no reason that shouldn't work, right? The word's banned or something. Okay, so let's change that to title. We'll leave it at 167. And now it prints it, no problem. 167, look at that. What is that? It's almost like it didn't like that ID, but that is bizarre. Okay, let's try change. Let's try this again here quick. Doesn't make any sense, right? Let's try lowercase ID here quick. Deactivate. Reactivate. Okay. Now look at that. As soon as we put ID, then it kind of messes up, right? That's bizarre. Doesn't like me using the word. I wonder if that's kind of a okay, so let's try to call it something else. We'll leave that as ID, but let's call this record num or something. Let's call it record ID, why not? Actually, why not? Why don't we call it PID for product ID? See if that makes a difference here. Okay, we'll leave that as ID. It is a variable. Might be something to do with the plugin. Maybe it's some weird reserved word or something, right? Okay. You know what? We might as well call this. We're gonna go ID or PID. We might as well go all the way, right? Okay, let's try that. really not behaving as I would expect it to behave, right? Almost like it doesn't like the word ID anything in it, right? Okay, so why don't we change that to record? So that makes a difference here. Hmm. So title worked, but nothing else works. Why is that? So record equals, damn it. You know why I didn't work with the PID as well? Because I didn't update the short code here. Okay, I just want to try that again, yeah, quick. I'll tell you what, since we already have it as record, let's just leave it as record. But then I'll probably update it to PID because, you know, I just want to make sure that does work and I'm not going crazy. And there you go, that's fine. Okay, so instead of record, let's do PID, yeah. Okay, so everything's back to PID. We will update the shortcode. Let's do that first so we don't forget. Okay, so let's call it product ID. Update that. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so that was a little waste of time, but that's just how it goes with writing stuff. Okay, so let's go back and see if this stuff actually works still. Okay. Okay, query, and we'll go. In this case, we're going to do ID equals to PID. Okay, so we know it's 167. We'll do, let's remove the comments here. Return. Okay, so it's going to return this guy first. Actually, let's do ID because we know that kind of works. Let's return a URL instead, right? So we can see something different that's been returned, right? Okay, so we can actually see if it's actually working. Okay, pages. Okay, so that's exactly what we were expecting there. So we're looking for a URL. We got back a URL, and that's kind of what we want in terms of what we're going to enter into this field here, right? But let's deal with the image first. So the two things I want to do in this video quickly is we want to get back a URL. But before we continue, for those guys that aren't interested in this other stuff and they just want to know how to query a database, let's do this quickly, and then you guys can leave or stop watching or continue watching, whatever you prefer. But I just wanted to show something. So instead of just doing one ID here, let's say you guys come, you want to get a whole bunch of records. So let's just instead of like one record, let's do stuff from products, and we're gonna say something like actually let me just do something like random. In this case, 1050. Okay, we can limit that a little bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we got instead of SQL, I just want to keep that as what it was. So we're going to do select. I'm going to say I don't care. So stuff from products. I'm going to say where. Okay, item is not now. Order by date credit. Limit description. But instead of 50, let's just say something like 9, right? So if you're just going to query a database and you want to list a bunch of products, and then obviously once you have the information, you could probably put those products into a table or display them in a different way. Maybe you had a class, a bunch of div classes or something, backgrounds, and put them in boxes, whatever. You could just query a bunch. But anyway, so in this case, we're going to do select stuff from there, results, and then in this case, we want to let's see if we can do this instead. Yeah, let's see if this will actually work. So return, let's see if we can echo the URL. Let's do something like echo. Let's echo the dollar post bang ID and the URL. So we have the ID and the URL. In this case, see if this will work. Yeah. So it should echo the ID in that in theory. I'm not sure because we're not returning that, whether what that's going to do. We'll leave that there for a moment. Let's see what it does. Okay. Okay, let's go back to edit page. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave that as is. What's it doing? Not behaving. My site's just gone down. Interesting. Okay, my site's still up. I can still query the database. It's there. So why is it not behaving here? Interesting. We'll just do something to it. Okay, it's nothing there that should have caused it to. So I don't know what's going on there, but obviously there is something. So as you can see, if you've got an error with your plugin, it's going to give you an error, yeah, so you can actually see. So let's go take a look. I didn't like something I did. Oh, I don't like this echo. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we go. Although I shouldn't have caused it to panic like that. That's bizarre. That is bizarre and silly at the same time. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so that's activated. I can't imagine they would have brought down the blog. That's kind of weird. Okay, so let's take another look here. Okay, so this is doing what we wanted to do. So I did a query, and obviously I get an ID. You can see there 166, 165. Okay, and if we look at the query here quick, so we're doing select from products. We're carrying forward hidden is null, and order by date created, and in reverse order, right? So in descending order there, right? And I'm limited to 9. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is good. That's a good result. So for those guys that are just interested in this piece, let me just kind of go through this quickly. Let me just summarize what we did here, right? Um, so we created a plugin, just create a directory. Um, you create a PHP file, can be anything you want. Obviously, um, you can call it whatever you want. Make sure you put a header in here. So call it whatever you give it a nice description there. Give it a description, sorry, a name, and plugin name, a description, who wrote the thing, where it came from. And in terms of the SQL stuff that you're interested in, is we created a function. So this entire thing is a single function. The function starts at the top, the first curly bracket, down to the bottom. That's where the function ends. You add in that you add in a shortcode, which is important, so you can actually call it from wherever you want in the block. The actual shortcode is based on your function name, which is that. So that product query should be the same as your function over there, your function name there. Just call it the same thing. The shortcode itself, you can call whatever name you want. It doesn't have to match the function. It's whatever you want to call it. If you want to pass parameters to it, you need the ATTS. I don't know exactly what that means, but I know that's kind of how you query it. When we want to actually get the query that variable, it's basically an array, I guess, right? Then you can actually assign it to a variable and just ATS, and then whatever that variable name, and that variable name is your shortcode name. So if we go back here and take a quick look at your shortcode here quick, if we just go edit here, so that PID that we saw there is this guy here. So whatever you call it there, so whether it's title, description, URL, that's what you can actually query, and then whatever you pass in. So if you pass in our case, we want to query a record, which might not be the best idea for what I want to do here, because if I reindex the database or delete a record number, that might not be the better one to do, but that's another thing, right? So you might want to have a different way of instead of using record ID numbers, use something else, like maybe you have a product ID number or something, right? Just like we got there, but not using the record ID, which we are doing. Okay. And then we open up a connection to the database, which is this guy here. And I have the actual passwords and host information in this include file. So you can actually just, instead of having an include file, if you really want it, you could just put it straight in the plugin. You could just say dv host equals to whatever. I like it this way. It's nice and cleaner, and then I'm not revealing my password necessary. So your password is kind of hidden, right? So if somebody does actually see that code, um, or have access to this, then they wouldn't necessarily see your password. So I kind of like to keep them separate. We query in the product database. In this case, we then run in a query, which could be like this guy, is what we kind of interested in. I'm interested in. I just want to query one record, and that's how you query a single record. If you want to query more than one record, then you can give it whatever select statement you want, and then we actually run the query. So we're telling it, let's actually run the query, which is this guy here. So we actually run in the query itself, and we're giving it, putting it into variable results. We then pass in that results, okay, and we assign it to a post variable in this case here, and then we can actually query that post variable. So all these guys are the database fields, right? So whatever's in your database are these guys here, right? And then we can actually just echo it to the screen, right? And I don't even think we need this return at all. In fact, why don't I comment this guy out just to prove that fact. I'm just trying to think if I do need it or not, but I don't think I do. I'm just trying to think when we actually get into the... Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, so let's just go back to plugins here quick. Deactivate, reactivate. Okay, go back to pages. Okay. And then I'm getting the same thing. So even though I disabled the return, it tells me that, right? Okay, so let's, okay, for those guys who are interested in that, I'm not actually going to keep going too much longer, but let's just finish this video off by actually assigning the actual variables to these guys here, right? So, and let me just actually take a quick look here to show you the way those guys are set. So that's just table. I use something called Table Maker. It's an old plugin. It basically just prints a table. So if I take a look here quick, there's a couple of things in here. You can't see the right hand side, but it's okay. So this is what we want to actually print, right? So let's say if we're just looking for this guy here. Okay, so let's grab that guy and we go back to the plugin here, for instance. Okay, so I'm just gonna comment this guy out here quick. And tell you what, I'll put this piece of code on my technical blog, and then you can grab it there if you want it. I'll put it in the description. You can go take a look, and if you wanted to try and copy and paste it or whatever. And if I forget to that, just remind me, and I'll do that. Okay, so we're just looking for a single record, and in this case, what I'm looking for is so let's pass it another parameter, right? So let's say, okay, so we got the record number, so we know what the record is, but we also need to know what type of information we want to get back. So if we have something like dollar field or something, probably not the best name, but anyway, let's go with dollar field for now. Okay, so let's say we wanted, and what I mean by that is, do we want the image, do we want to get the image information back, or do we want to get the URL back, for instance, right? So let's say field, so field's going to equal something like image or URL or rating or whatever, right? In this case, and I'm going to say equals to $ATTS, and we're going to go $field. Okay. 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 We're just going to want too many parameters there. Okay. And what I mean by that is, so if I just wanted to, if I wanted to shortcode, yeah. So what I'm really going to do, yeah, is I'm going to put here product query. So I'm going to add the shortcode right here into my table here, right? Product query, and I'm going to go say I know what the ID is, or the PID in my case is. I know I want 167, and then I also want I'm wondering if I need to put a comma there. Okay, we'll have to test it. I want to put PID, and then I also want to get the type of field. In this case, is the field's going to be an image, right? So I want the image back. That's what I want. Back. Okay. I might have to put a comma there. Let's see what happens if we go to back to pages here quick. You'll notice if we go back here. Okay, so I don't really need that. Okay, let's leave that there just in case. Okay, we can leave that there right now. Okay, so let's go back. It's not, doesn't like what I've been doing there. Okay, so we're going to grab the field name, and then in this one we're going to actually print. Actually, let's just print the field for now. Okay, let's actually print the image. Let's do. We can make it a little bit more fancy. Yeah. Let's see if I haven't destroyed. Oh, I still got it. Okay, so I'm going to echo that I want back the image here, and it's going to be the image field, except in this case, I don't know if this will work, but let's see what will work here. Dollar post, bang, large image in my case, because that's the name of my field in my database. Okay. I might have to assign this to a return code instead. I don't think it really matters too much. Okay, so I'm just looking for. I think this is all the extra stuff we don't really care about, right? Okay, so I've got an image. I'm going to display an image here. Okay, so I've got image.src equals to post, large image. Okay, large image there, and then I have. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Let's actually see it quick. I might have the wrong brackets there, right? Yeah. Echo. Doesn't look all like. Okay, let's take. Doesn't like that. Okay, let's take that out there as well. I don't like the double brackets here too much. PHP. Yeah, it sometimes gets like that. So actually, let's do this. So instead of, so another nice thing you can do with PHP is you can actually break it up, right? So let's break that up here. That's what I like to do. So you can actually break it up, and that way what we can do is we can just print the HTML stuff without all the brackets and stuff getting all messed up, right? So we can just actually print the HTML code, right? At this point, we just got HTML code, so you can say something like HTML code at this point. Okay. And then anything, yeah, anything above that and below that is all the PHP stuff, right? Okay, and then it just translates it or encodes it differently, and then you don't have to mess around too much with all the parentheses and the single quotes, and trying to figure all that stuff out. You can try and escape them and all that. That gets messy, right? Okay, let's try this again. Okay, that looks alright. Okay, let's see if this behaves any differently. Nope. Okay, let's go back. Let's just plugins, deactivate, activate plugin. Okay, activated, no errors. Okay, let's see if this it's not actually printing, so let me just go. So double check my table, yeah, quick, table maker. I was wondering if I have to have a comma or something. Yeah, I know I tested it. I think I tested it with 167. You know what? I'm going to take away this guy here as well. Save changes. Yeah, I just don't know how the script's gonna, how the script actually receives the different query there. I think I looked it up at one point. Okay, so it's ignoring this for now. We don't have to worry about that. So we go in echo result. Well, we're just going to print the image. S equals to $post. Okay, so let's actually put $post in brackets in double quotes there. Okay, so that should be okay. Still doesn't like it for some reason. Okay, so let's take out, just for argument's sake, let's take out that second field for the moment. Let's see if that's misbehaving for some reason. Okay, so we know this worked before, and we're not actually using that second field just yet. Okay, so it's not that. So what is it not liking here? So we've got well post equals that, image SRC equals that. Okay, this is fine. We're selecting star from that equals pit. So we knew this stuff worked fine. Okay, let's just take this guy out as well for the moment. Okay, so this guy was all fine. We didn't change anything there. Okay, so we didn't change anything there. Okay, this should be fine. Brackets. Well, that. I was wondering if this return. So let's put that back in and let's return. Well, I don't think that makes a difference, to be honest, but let's put that back just in case. Yeah, the only problem with this type of thing is you can't really debug it very well. You can't see what it's doing. Huh. Blank page, right? Okay. Let's remove the shortcode. Maybe the table's not working properly. Just eliminate that quickly. Okay, let's just remove that there for a sec. See if it's the table that's causing it to fail. Okay, so that definitely seemed to. I wonder. Actually, hold on. I think if I remember, maybe I'm dreaming here. I thought I saw an option. Add mark the first column class to shortcode. I don't know what that means. Add center text class to shortcode. Okay. Okay, so if we just go back here quickly. So it now prints the table. Okay, but I'm not actually seeing the shortcode being printed here as well. So let's actually just go back here quick. Okay, so I've still got the same thing I had there before. Okay. I'm doing a query, I'm not doing an echo, I'm just doing. Okay, so let's do. Oh, okay, hold on. So, what we're actually seeing here, I'm just not seeing it where I'm expecting to see it. So it is actually working, because here it is there. That's where the broken code is, right? Okay, let's actually take a look at what that is. Copy image address. Okay, let's say you can't actually see it, so let me actually go edit here. Okay, let me actually print what that is there. Okay, so it's actually printing. This is what it's printing. So I've got the actual image. Actually, no, I haven't got the image, and that's why it's broken, right? So it's actually printing this guy. Yeah, it's actually printing. Okay, actually, I know why. My mistake. The problem when you do what I did, which cleans up the code, is this guy here isn't translated, right? So you actually have to do a PHP statement here, right? So we actually have to do, if we're going to print images in HTML code, you actually have to do this, right? And you actually do an echo, and then we have to do a close PHP, right? Like that. Okay. Otherwise, it just prints no image here, right? Okay. So let's try this now. Okay, plugins. Yeah, that's fine. We can leave the page. Deactivate. So now I'm thinking it's going to print the image, okay, and then we can try the table thing again. Okay. Okay, so it's printed the image like we wanted. So we know it's getting the image from the database. It's in. We just gave it the image HTML code, so it's actually working just as it wants. We just want to get it into the table, yeah, right? That's kind of what the goal is there, right? Okay, so let's go back. And see if we can make that happen. Okay, so back to the table. And let's see if we can put the product code here again. Okay. Product. So I mean, I'm relying on this plugin to actually work, and it may not actually be working. So PID equals to 167. Okay. Okay, so in theory that should work because that's okay, so we've just updated the table. We don't need to update the plugin. Okay, we go back to pages and let's go see what it does. And it breaks it. So I'm wondering if the actual table in this case is broken. That's not necessary. It's not actually translating the plugin that the shortcode as it's supposed to be, right? I mean, it should be able to add mark. Let's just click see what these guys do. Yeah, I think this is just a hover and a center. I don't think it's gonna actually do anything, to be honest. Actually, let's just make sure this plugin, yeah, is different. Let's make sure the plugin is actually correct. I think it is, but okay, that looks the same. Yeah, no difference. No different there. So that should work. Let's take this guy out here, just in case it's kind of conflicting or something crazy. Because if this doesn't work, then that's going to be unfortunate, because I actually do want to use... Oh, there we go. Oh, kind of. Yeah, that actually worked. I'm seeing half an image here because the size, I've got the responsive tables turned on here, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go back to the... Maybe that other one was double conflicting or something. You know what it could have been? It could have been... Actually, I'll test it now. I'll show you two things here quick. Two things. So in this plugin, which is Table Maker, there's something called responsive. I thought that had response. Oh yeah. So enable responsiveness. So let me actually. Is this correct? Actually, no. It's not the actual responsive setting that I'm interested in. Yeah. So let me just go back to pages. Yeah. It's some of the CSS code that I added to make the table fixed limit. So just done. Yeah, I added this guy. Yeah, and I'm going to remove that quickly. I'll put it back in a sec because I actually do want that the fixed table length. So if we look at this now, you'll see now it actually prints your perfect image there, right? Just kind of one. And in fact, I don't even need that piece of code, I suppose. But if you have more columns, so let's say I had 6 or 7 columns, then it wouldn't fit on this page, and then you'd actually be scrolling left or right, which is not what we want. Okay. And that's why. So that's okay. But that image is probably a little bit big for what I actually want myself. So I'm just going to put this guy back, and then I'm going to do something else here quick. Let's see if we can just put a height here quick. So in my image here, we're just going to do, we'll probably do, let's try a height first of all. Let's say a height equals 100. Okay. Okay, so go back to plugins, just disable, deactivate, reactivate it, and let's see what it now prints out. Okay. Okay, it still didn't change the height there. Why is that? Why is that? Height versus width. Okay, but that's not a real deal breaker to me. I can figure that out. That's probably just me not getting the height. Okay, let's try width. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's not that important, but it's really just making sure that your image is the right size, and we can scale that down. Not a big deal. Or you can just leave it scaled up and just turn the CSS off in my case, right? Not a big deal here, right? So let's just do this one more time, and then we'll do two things here quick. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on that. As this video has gone on way longer than I was hoping it would. Okay, so let's deactivate, reactivate. Okay, pages. Okay, let's try that one more time here quick. Okay, so that's kind of what I was expecting actually, right? I mean, that's kind of the size. So maybe with the height didn't really do much, but maybe the height was already 100. I mean, although it looked larger than 100. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for in features. Now, the other thing I wanted to do quickly here was to do the URL. So that's where I was trying to do the field thing here quick. Let's try and see if that makes a difference here. Okay, so let's just put this guy back. Let's see if we don't break it. We'll just leave that. We'll come back to that in a sec. But before we do that, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to actually show you earlier. So the other thing I want to do here is just make sure we close when we are doing the query of the database. In this case, we query, we print the results at this point. Before we return, I guess let's do a close of the actual connection to the database, which is this guy, yeah, right? So we want to do close $query, I think is what it is. I think that's how we close it. Let me just double check that quick. Okay, let's near the bottom, yeah. Okay, let's go. Where are you? Okay, so this is what we actually wanted to close. $query, that's what we wanted, right? Okay, not quite close enough, but actually, well, not even close. It's more of a pull statement that so we want $query equals to close. Otherwise, that's not going to work. Okay. There is a difference, just so you know. There's something called mySQL I, and there's mySQL. So that probably would have worked with the mySQL. The mySQL I does a different arrays thing. It just queries it differently, right? Okay. So the only reason I wanted to do this quickly is I wanted to show you why it wasn't actually printing. So if we went back to this guy, yeah. And I think it was because we weren't closing the connection properly there. So if we did another shortcode, yeah, product query PID equals to 167, it will then should, in theory, print both in the table and in the actual, or maybe not. There we go again. It almost figures out I've messed around with the plugin and then it starts to behave. Okay, activate. Okay, go to pages. I still don't like that, eh? Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me in my mind, but okay, we close on the connection, returning. Okay, let's take this guy. I mean, I don't think that'll make a difference. That looks fine. Return, open. I mean, it looks fine, but okay, let's try this again. I don't expect it to behave any differently, so I didn't really change anything there, right? Actually, hold on. let's deactivate, reactivate. Okay, I don't have single quotes. It will come back if that doesn't work. Yeah, definitely didn't like that. Okay, let's try single quotes if quickly. Must be somewhere else. It's kind of bizarre. Pages. Did actually save it though. But whenever I save it, it's almost trying to load the plugin and then dies on me. Okay, let's go back here quick. Okay, I'm not expecting it to work yet. So product query, PID, that's fine. I mean, the shortcode looks fine. So why? I wonder if it's something to do with the table, but I mean, it shouldn't be, right? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's go back for now. I'm gonna have to debug that another time. Okay. Because you obviously want to have more than one shortcode on a page, so you definitely want that to work. Okay, so we got that. So before we go, I'm just going to do one more here quick if I can. Oh yeah, we wanted to, let's just put this guy back here quick. Okay, we won't change anything there just yet. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can give the table quick another. Okay, let's see if this will work or cause problems. And I'll go back here. So we're going to say field, and we're going to grab what type of field it is, and let's do an echo field $field. Okay. Let's see if I can actually read that field. Okay, so field equals 10 as a field. I mean, you should be able to do that, right? Okay, let's just try this. Okay, go back to 2, yeah. Maybe you just don't have a comma there. Okay, there we go. That's kind of what I was looking for, right? So I'm telling it, so there's no comma in between those two. And the reason why we need that is so we need to know, we need to be able to tell it, do we want an image or do we want a URL? And without that field, it's not going to help us, right? Okay, so I'm just going to write you something quickly. I promise I won't be much longer. Okay, and we're going to do yes. So what we're telling it to do is we're going to say if $field there's if you're new to PHP, you want to use the 3 equal signs versus a 2. Never use the 2 equal signs. So never use equal in general, or never use not equal either, right? So you can either use equal or you're going to use not equal, like that. Okay. In this case, we're going to go. So we're going to say if $field equals to image, we're going to print the image, right? Okay. Actually, that's not going to work too well because I have we'll fix this in a sec because it's not PHP yet. Yeah, this is all HTML, right? So we can do something like this actually. Let's put that guy up there. Okay. So we're going to say if it equals to image, then we're going to print the image, yeah, which is this guy, yeah. Okay, not quite what I wanted, yeah, but that'll do. Okay. So, okay, and then we're going to have to unfortunately do, sometimes it gets a bit too much, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put else, we can do something like, okay, let's actually, okay, and we're going to do something like else, or rather, else if I'll have to just double check that is correct, that I got my syntax correct, yeah. Else if, double check that in a sec. Else if $field equals to URL, then we want to actually print the URL, right? Okay, and again we're going to end this here quick. Okay, and in this case we're going to do something similar. href, get rid of this guy, yeah. Let's just do target equals to underscore blank. So let's throw it onto a new page. Okay, throw it up onto a new page. Okay, instead of URL, we're going to do URL there. I don't really care about this stuff, yeah. Okay, so that, and then let's give it a name here quick. I think I forgot my syntax correct, yeah. Okay, let's just do, actually we may not need to, actually I might have got that wrong. I'm going to have to go check that quickly. Actually I'll have to go double check that. Okay, let's just end this quickly, yeah. So we're going to print that. So open brackets, print the image, and then close brackets, and we can do something like just to kind of end this else off here quick. Else, let's just do echo for now, just to end that else statement. I think I got that right. We'll have to see if we messed that up here. Okay, so it's just I'm not gonna go and double check the syntax quickly there. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. Okay, that looks okay. Let's go back. Okay, so we got plugins, deactivate, reactivate. Okay, I'm just going to check my table here quickly. Let's just do the first one. So I think we got this one right. So anyway, so that should still work, and then we'll come back. You can't actually see it. Actually, I'll be able to show you hopefully in a sec. Yeah, let's actually go just check that actually still works. Like we expected. So yeah, I can still see. Okay, yeah, I'm still printing that in the PHP file. That's why I'm still seeing that. Okay, so the other thing I want to do here, just to end this video off, let's go back to Table Maker and let me just reduce my screen here so you can actually see it. So this is kind of where the URL was going to be, alright? So so basically we would get back a URL. I'm not quite sure how we'd get the URL, the shortcode into this URL. Okay, but I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm going to have to just figure that out. But I just wanted to show you for the second piece, if we can get it to work. Let's put another shortcode here. Product query, and we're going to go say PID. Again, we want the same. We know what the product is that we want, but in this case the field is, as you guessed it, URL. Okay, so field. So in theory, if this works, as I hope it will, we should see a URL, a link or something there. It might print the whole thing. Did it actually work? Yeah, it did actually there. Let's see, it might not like both of these in the same field, but let's see what it does. Okay, I'm just going to deactivate. I don't think I need to deactivate again, but I'm just going to do it just in case I missed it. Okay, go back to pages and juices, and let's see what happens here. And it didn't actually do anything as I expected. Okay, so let's go. So there's two things, either it didn't do anything or print a target reference PHP. So I'm printing the URL, which is this guy here, which looks okay. I think it is okay, so let me just let's print here. Actually, it should have actually printed that. I didn't actually see it print that. Did it not print that? Okay, so I don't think I've changed anything into the plugin. So I'm just going to go back here. Okay, so it did actually get the URL. It just hasn't printed anything here, right? Okay, so let's just, maybe it just doesn't like no reason why it wouldn't have. So it actually found that the URL was correct. So let's go back to the plugin here quick. So it got the URL. Okay, so let's go down here quick. So it's going if, actually let me just check my else if statement here quick and make sure that I haven't messed that up. Let me just do run So I might not have the right syntax. Else if, okay, no, else if I think looks okay. So it's got else if, okay. I thought I messed it up, but I think it's okay. So if else if equals to URL, which is correct, then we're gonna print this guy, which is a target blank. I got the double quotes, I got the single quotes, echoes. Looks okay. Okay, so let's just do something here quick. So that looks actually okay. I didn't change anything. So the only other thing is maybe the table's been a little fanatic again, finicky. So let's just remove that first piece in the table. So in theory, we should be able to do. Maybe it doesn't like a short code, and maybe it doesn't know what to do with all of that, right? Maybe it's like too much to handle. So it might be just very specific, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. Okay, so I've got product query, PID, field equals URL, looks fine, same as this guy, yeah. Go back to pages. Okay, and let's do, no, did I save it? I did save it, right? It's definitely printing image URL. I'm just maybe not expecting to see a link of some sort. Actually, I wonder if, you know what? I have a feeling I didn't finish off my query. I was thinking of grabbing, okay, let me just double checking. Yeah, I am correct in thinking that. Okay, my bad, yeah. I was thinking of going and getting that URL. And while I'm here, I'm just going to actually put this in here. Actually, that's okay. We'll leave it there. I'll go put it back. Actually, you know what? Let's put it here. Why not? Just so I have it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here. Okay. And because I'm not in PHP, it's gonna ignore it. Okay. So that's what I need to get to eventually. But for this demo, we have to give it a name here. So we're gonna say click me or whatever, right? It's not gonna be the button, but it'll put a link there. Okay, so I didn't actually finish that the aref off there, right? Okay, so that's why it wasn't printing. So while I'm here, let me just, we know this works. So let's just take that out because we don't need it. Okay, so hopefully this time it'll do what we expect it to do. And then I'll end the video at this point. Activate, go back to pages. And it didn't actually print what I was expecting. Oh. I thought I'd removed that from the table, so let me just go double check the table here quick. That's still on the table? Oh, it is, okay. Okay, so that's good. So I'm not sure why it's not printing. Okay, so it's definitely removed the field, so it updated the plugin. Did I miss something? Yeah. I mean, that looks fine. So let's just double check here. If field equals to image, then we're going to print that. Also, if field equals to URL, which is this guy, then we should be printing this guy, right? That looks good. So a target equals to blank, a ref. We're going to post the URL. That looks okay, I thought. Close the aref, then we got click me, close the Okay, so we'll check it out. Maybe my else statement's broken. That might be it. Although in theory it should still behave, right? But some of the stuff is it's a little finicky, right? So if you don't get it just right. Okay, let's just put test here just in case it's making it down here. Okay. Okay, plugins, disable, yeah. Huh. Still doesn't work, yeah. It didn't print the test either, so let's just double check here. Let's make sure. Before I lose my mind. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick print URL. Let's make sure I'm not losing my mind here. Post bang URL. Okay, let's go here quickly. Let's make sure we got that. Okay, so I'm going to print the URL there just so I can see it, and then if I'm printing over here, I'm going to print the image. We know the image works, but let me just do it anyway. Just to see if it's actually getting down this far, or where it's getting to. Maybe it's getting here. I mean, that should work, right? In theory, anyway. Okay, so let's go down here quick to plugins, deactivate, reactivate, pages, image. What am I missing here? Post looks right. Post ID. Oh, in this case it's large image, so that's why it didn't print. But it doesn't seem to be getting down to this guy. So it's if print here, which is kind of weird because we're getting URL. So if image equals to image. Which it's not. So if we're coming down, we're passing it the fields equals URL. So we go if image, also fields equals to URL. Unless I got my syntax wrong or something. And URL is in lowercase, and so it doesn't seem to be getting to this else statement, right? For whatever reason. Else if field equals to URL, then we'll print the URL. So it doesn't, and that's why it's not printing, because I don't think it's actually getting this far down for some reason. Okay, let's reactivate pages. Ah, it didn't actually print that either. I expected that to print. It's obviously printing that guy. Why didn't it print? That should have worked. mean, it's obviously printing this guy, right? That's working. Ah, damn it. Yeah, there's a very difference. There's a there's a difference between print and echo. I'm so used to print in Perl, but I mean, print actually works. It actually does something. It just doesn't work the same way. It doesn't work as it doesn't do what you expect it to do, right? Okay, let's try that again. Yeah. So I'm just expecting the image to work. I'm not expecting the other one to work. Okay, so that's what we're working. So it's definitely printing this guy like we expected. It's just not printing this guy, yeah, which is bizarre. It's almost like it's not getting there for some reason, right? Let me just double check. I'm not losing my mind, yeah. mySQL. Make sure I do have the right fields, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's URL. Okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure there was a URL. And just again, let me just double check the URL. Yeah, so it's definitely 167. So the field is filled in. So I mean, I should be getting that guy back, right? Okay, so let's just double check here quickly. See if I can figure this out here. So we're going to, if the field $field equals to image, then we print the image. So we know this works just fine. That is fine. So that, okay. Else if, so if we get down and we say the image, the field is now URL, which we've changed. I'll have to double check I haven't messed that up. Then print this guy. So it's not actually getting this far down for whatever reason. So it's doing while reading post. I mean, it's a separate query, so it shouldn't. So we should get down here. Image is not equals to image, then goes to the next one. Let's just check I haven't messed it up in the okay. Table, yeah, is what. So let's just double check that. I mean, I'm sure it was right. Okay, so we got image here, field equals to image, field equals to URL, PID equals to 167. So product query. I got the brackets. That looks fine, right? I mean, it's possible the table's ignoring it for whatever reason, right? Maybe the table's not working properly. Tell you what, let's take this guy and let's put him into a different post here quick. Just to see if that's actually working, but maybe the table's breaking it. Save drafts. So there we go. So it's definitely working, just exactly as the plugin's supposed to do. But for some reason, it's possible. It's possible that the table, I mean, if it's actually, you know what? Oh, I thought I had clicked these. Add mark the first column with short code. Let's try put it over here. Let's see if this does anything. Maybe the go to site. I mean, it should work. I mean, maybe there's a bug with this. I mean, this is an old plugin, so maybe this isn't a great plugin to work with. Yeah. Let's try. Yeah. So definitely the plugin that the plugin that we wrote here is working fine, but it's not displaying in this table at all. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna put that down to a table issue. I'm gonna have to try to troubleshoot that. It might be something to do with this table. Uh, but the actual plugin that we wrote is definitely working as I showed you in this post here. So we get in when we put in the plugin with the URL field, it gives back the actual URL as we expect. It's just not displaying in the table. Anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time. So, just to kind of recap here for those that are following, and if you're still paying attention, congratulations for sticking it out. Or if you skipped the video, even better. But just to recap quickly, so we query in the database. We have the open the database string here. So first of all, we have the function. The function, as before we start, as you can see, has extended quite a bit. We have the function name. We make sure if you want to pass parameters, you've got this variable there. We open the connection string here. We grab the variables that we'll pass in the shortcode. We've made this a little bit more advanced. We check in fields, so we can pass it different parameters versus the first one. So we can if you look into a single parameter, you can get different strings, and that way you can use a shortcode for different things. You're making the shortcode very flexible, right? Or the plugin very flexible by using different fields, right? Okay, we do a query. We query for a single product. We execute on that query. We do a while statement, and then we do in some if statements. And if it's image, if I'm asking for the image field, it'll return an image. If I'm asking for a URL field, it's going to return a URL. And then we can do something with that information, and build tables or posts or whatever we want to do, right? Essentially, right? So, like I said, I'll post this code on my technical blog in the description, and you might want to use it. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, just comment on the blog or comment on the YouTube video, and if I can answer it, I will answer it or let you know. I'm not here to support other people's sites or anything like that, so it has to be specific to the video. If you've got any questions about this specific plugin or what we've talked about today, by all means send me a question, and I will try and answer it best I can. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.